everybody. We're going to continue reading our Mick story, and I'm hoping that we'll get through the entire book today, and then we'll get to vote on what the ending is. So look in the Google Classroom to vote what ending we're going to read, or comment below which one you really want to see. I'll list in the description what the ending choices are, and then I might record all of them, or we might just do the top 2 choices. So we're on chapter 18, and we get some really good pictures in this chapter. The waitress arrived with our food. The food was delicious, and we were all laughing and having fun. I got Nathan's attention and passed him the book under the table. When he saw the picture of the gremlin, he was so shocked that he spit his food out across the table. Yuck, squealed Sissy. Nathan and I couldn't help but burst into laughter. The bite of his hamburger hit Sissy right in the face. She had a streak of mustard running right across her cheek. Here, honey, said Aunt Marissa as she handed her a napkin to wipe her face. That was totally gross, Sissy cried. I'm sorry about that, replied Nathan, embarrassed. But that was nothing compared to the grossness that we would encounter with the gremlin. So there's the picture of Sissy with the food on her face. We headed back to the hotel, and I couldn't wait to talk about the myth with Nathan. The minute we got back to the hotel, we said goodnight and started walking quickly to our room. Hey, can I play some games with you guys too? Asked Sissy from behind us. Keep walking if you're up for some myth solving, I said out of the side of my mouth to Nathan. Hey, Sissy screeched. It felt like nails on a chalkboard, and I knew what was coming next. Mick, said Dad. Nathan, said Mr. Suarez, you two include your cousin. But Dad, I began until he glared at me with that I mean business look. Cool, like I'll just take my things to my room and be right back. Oh, and I'll bring some of my new things to see what you guys think. Sissy giggled and bounced away. Ooh, I can hardly wait, I thought to myself. As soon as we got to our room, Nathan and I frantically looked up gremlins on the internet. Most of the information talked about mischievous little creatures that wreaked havoc with airplanes during the war. Nathan, we have to go back there, I said excitedly. Where? To the museum? Tonight? Nathan freaked out. I nodded excitedly as Nathan said, no way, dude. I jumped when I heard a crinkling sound come from behind us. Sissy had tiptoed into the room without us knowing, then dropped her bags when she heard us talking. When we turned to see, she was staring at us with her eyes wide open. I tiptoed in because I thought you both had a surprise, and I wanted you to turn and see it, she said as she limply held up 2 cool Michigan t-shirts. I really didn't mean to eavesdrop, but since I did, what is going on? My mind raced while trying to decide whether to tell her what happened or not, but it didn't matter. There's Sissy holding the shirts. Look at our cool little state. They did a good job with that picture. All right, that's chapter 18, so we're on chapter 19. We found a gremlin, Nathan shouted immediately. A what? What's that? All I heard was that you two were going to sneak back into the museum, Sissy exclaimed. We got Sissy to lower her voice and told her about everything that had happened at the museum that day. Then we decided we couldn't let this myth go. As myth solvers, we had to see what that scary little black gremlin was up to. We carefully mapped out a plan. Sissy would go back to her room. We would all act like we were exhausted and getting ready for bed early. We quickly checked our walkie-talkies and made sure all of our gear was set to go in our backpacks. Then we waited until they thought we were sleeping. We stuffed our beds with pillows just in case our parents looked in on us. Once the coast was clear, we would grab a cab and get back to the museum before it closed. Our timing was crucial. Sissy would play a huge role in making sure everyone thought we were all going to bed. It was like she was her old self again, and suddenly I realized something about my cousin. She acted weird in front of adults because she'd been left with strangers a lot when she was young. Uncle Hayden was her stepdad and a good one, but her mother divorced when Sissy was young, and she had to leave her every week to go to work. It affected Sissy, so when she felt needed and comfortable, she let down her guard and was herself. But if not, well then, she was different. I made a mental note to be kinder to her and more understanding. Maybe since I was the only person who was remotely close to her in age in the family, I could try to talk to her about it. But that would be another time, because now we were crunched for time, trying to get our plan going. Sissy quietly left our room and went back to hers. An hour later, we were all headed for the hotel and getting into a cab to head back to the museum. Our plan had worked perfectly. The cab driver, who barely spoke English except for repeating, "Welcome to Michigan," took us right where we wanted to go, right into a very dangerous situation. Okay, this is the last chapter before the pick your own ending. Chapter 20. It started the minute we arrived. The cabbie dropped us off in front of the museum and took off before we even noticed the museum was closed. There weren't any people or cars anywhere. "I think it's closed," whispered Sissy. The wind was blowing and the big trees rustled as the moon lit up the sky. "I think so too. Nathan, are you sure you had the time right?" I asked. "Yeah, on the brochure it says..." Oops, 5 o'clock. I misread the time. I'm sorry. It was now 10 o'clock and the place was silent. "Darn it. Look, someone's coming. Duck," I whispered as we all dove into some bushes. It was one of the security guards locking up for the night. "Okay, we'll just have to find another way in." "But how?" asked Sissy. "Let's check around the back. Maybe there's a delivery area or something," said Nathan. After the guard left, we stayed tight to the building as we crept around the back. It was dark and frightening as we made our way around the huge old buildings. Now the buildings didn't look as quaint as they did in the daytime. In the growing darkness, they seemed to loom over us. We found our way to the back, and sure enough, there was the delivery area. We checked the doors, but they were both locked. I looked around and noticed a small round window above that was tilted slightly open. "Look up there," I pointed. "That's great, but you guys would never fit through that," Sissy said. "No, we won't," I said as Nathan and I eyed each other. "Oh no way! I haven't been in this place, and besides, how would I get in anyway? Don't you think?" When Sissy continued yakking, Nathan and I began to use all of our might to move a dumpster over towards the window. We were lucky it was empty and that it had wheels. We got it as close as we could and locked the wheels, just as Sissy finally stopped talking. She slowly turned our way. "Now, just what are you going to do with that?" she panicked. "We're going to help you climb up that window," I answered. Sissy stood quiet for a moment, thinking. Just then, we heard footsteps and saw a flashlight moving our way. "Come on," I said as we circled around the back of the dumpster. We stood frozen with fear that we would get caught. As I peered around the dumpster, I was relieved to see another security guard walking away. There sure was a lot of them combing this area. For a split second, I wondered if they knew anything about the gremlins. We helped Sissy get up and stood ready to catch her as she reached for the ledge of the open window. She caught it, then she shimmied her way up and through the opening. Thud! "Sissy! Sissy!" Nathan and I yelled out. "Are you okay? Sissy!" "What?" she asked as she stood at the open door. We climbed down off the dumpster and moved it back so there would be no trace of foul play. Then we quietly entered into a nightmare. And then it says, "Now it's your turn. You get to decide which way you would like the story to go. There are 5 ways to finish this book, and it's up to you to decide." The first one is a normal ending. The second one is a very scary ending. The third one is a thrilling time travel ending. Number 4 is a beyond belief B-movie ending. And number 5 is a questions only page. Make sure to comment below or on our Google Classroom to help us decide which ones you guys want to see. Bye, guys.